Hey, yo, what's the deal? That's your boy Tag from Pro Wrestling Tag. You know what I mean? As of this recording right now, it is 4:10 p.m. You know what I mean? August 13, 2025. It looked like it's going to rain. You know what I mean? So my Puerto Rican ass is staying in the house. And I got to talk about this. You know what I mean? Because this is clearly big. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, you guys know that WWE, more importantly, TKO, has been making some monster deals, you know, for both UFC and WWE this week. You know what I mean? And mind you, they got deals, you know, with almost every big station that you see. You know what I mean? WWE has a deal with Disney, ESPN for, you know, for their shows, right? For their PLEs and stuff. They still got the deal with with NBC Universal, you know what I mean, for SmackDown and Saturday Night's Main Event. And also now TKO had, you know, struck a deal with CBS, with Paramount, you know what I mean, for UFC shows to be part of, you know, to have UFC as part of, you know, their family, right? So that's the three big stations, right? The three big ones. And of course, you know, Tubi and everything, right? So I was looking at a snippet from Fightful. And I should put, I'm going to put the thing in, if I find it, I'm going to put it in the description, right? So Jimmy Van, shout out to him. I got more respect for him than that pussy ass motherfucker Sean Ross Sapp. Even though Jimmy Van, in terms of, you know, in terms of breaking wrestling news and such, it might be suspect in terms of wrestlers, but when it comes down to the business side and such, like he's pretty knowledgeable. He said something, and it was a clip. He said something that, you know, was really accurate. And to put it in clear layman's terms, in 2 years with AEW's TV distribution deal, they are fucked. They are fucked completely. Because he laid out, you know, he basically laid out what, you know, what could potentially happen, right? So basically AEW they pigeonholed their you know, their limitations to, you know, to just a little bit. They you know, they still kept the deal with Warner Bros. Discovery. He said, and I quote, you know, either AEW stays with Warner Brothers, with WBD, or, you know, they go to, you know, a thing like Amazon Prime and such, because Amazon Prime apparently has a deal with AEW for I think pay-per-view distribution. I think for pay-per-view distribution. But, you know, and then, you know, Apple's name was apparently put in there. I'm going to tell you why I doubt that happens. Because AEW needs TV. Even though, like, yes, cable is supposedly dying, but it seems like people need cable. It's like you need cable. You know what I mean? You need cable to tell the masses. You know what I mean? And so this is why WWE is smart. Because they play both, you know, they play on both sides, both cable and, you know, cable and streaming, right? Cable and streaming. So the fact that, you know, he said this, Jimmy Van, it has me wondering, you know, is WWE going to do something with Amazon, or TKO going to do something with Amazon Prime to block that? I mean, I doubt that. I highly doubt that. You know what I mean? Because they have a great deal with Netflix and everything, right? But the thing is, right, and he even said Fox is not even an option. It's not an option because, you know, with the bundle deal and such, you have to wonder if Fox is even, you know, going to be an interest partner with AEW. I mean, the ESPN thing, and so I doubt that. I highly doubt that. Like I said, you know, no matter how you slice it, you need cable. You need cable. You know what I mean? You definitely need cable because, excuse me, without cable, like, you really can't do shit. You know what I mean? without broadcast TV, you can't do anything. So you need that. And so, like I said, I doubt if Amazon Prime becomes an option for things, because AEW Dynamite is it's a cable wrestling show, right? It's a cable wrestling show. It's nowhere near. It is nowhere near, where WWE Raw is at. Nowhere near. And again, you need cable. You need cable. And how the fuck is that going to work for AEW? You know what I mean? How the fuck is that going to work? What, you think that you really think that Amazon Prime is going to cough up billions for a program that has how many views a week? I mean, how many fucking views a week does AEW bring in for both Dynamite and Collision? I mean, Collision is horrible. Collision is fucking horrible. The rating for Collisions is disastrous. And look what's going on with AEW Dynamite. You know what I'm saying? The same shit. How the fuck is that going to work? Huh? How's that going to work? What I think is going to happen is this, right? Or let's say, okay, let's say Amazon Prime, or let's say Amazon does cut a deal with AEW, right? It's not going to be for how much they think it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, we're still waiting on the deal for Ring of Honor. We're still waiting on the deal for that, which is never happening. You know what I mean? That shit is never going to happen. So, what I think is going to happen is, let's say they do cut a deal with AEW, right? It's not going to be for how much Tony Khan wants it to be. It's going the rights fees is just going to be for a little bit, just a little bit. But the thing is, how the fuck are they going to promote it, to the masses? You need cable. You need cable, stupid. You need fucking cable. You know what I mean? This is why WWE is smart. This is why they're fucking smart, because this is why they still have, SmackDown on USA. This is why. Not only SmackDown USA, but the Saturday Night's Main Event. You know what I mean? Because that is their pipeline for people to go to Netflix. You know what I mean? This is why I don't ever see WWE putting everything into streaming, because they're not going to take away that pipeline. You can't. You can't take away that pipeline, B. You can't. You strictly can't. You know what I mean? So AEW, how the fuck is that going to work? How's that going to work? What, you're going to leave Collision on TNT? And that's not going to work, B. That's not going to work. You know what I mean? Especially if the ratings don't go up. The ratings are not up. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to work. And plus, nobody's going to fucking watch wrestling on Saturdays. Nobody. No fucking body. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, the rights fees is going to be lower than what it is now. And think about this too. Warner Brothers doesn't have the NBA anymore. They don't got the NBA anymore. They don't. You know what I mean? So with the I think WBD Global Communications, I know they're not going to look at AEW as a pure property of that station. They're not. They're not. They're really not. Because again, it's not even worth. They wasn't even in the fucking, they wasn't even in the logo when they split the two. It was nowhere near the fucking logo, B. You know what I mean? So who the fuck is you to tell me that, AEW has options? They got no options. They are fucked in 2027. And I guarantee you, I personally guarantee you that there are going to be people under my comment section probably, and defend this shit. I guarantee you this. I guarantee you say, if they go on Amazon, that's great. How the fuck you figure that? How you figure that? Here's the thing too to think about. Amazon looks at MLB baseball, as as a serious business to look for way more than AEW. Way more. So I highly doubt if AEW is even an option for Amazon. I doubt it. Doubt it, no. I doubt it. You know what I mean? I doubt it. Well, we're going to see what happens. And you know what? Let me see. If WWE really wants to be petty, if TKO really wants to be petty, you know what I would do? Right? The Professional Bull Riders Association, I would put that shit on Amazon just to fuck with them. Just to block out every single option that AEW has. I would do it. TKO ain't playing around. They're not joking. They're not laughing. You know what I mean? This ain't no fucking game. You know what I mean? Like, I had someone under my comment section saying that, it wasn't anything malicious or stuff like that. The person said how now it becomes, it's an obsession that WWE is counter-programming AEW. But listen, it's business. It's business. And remember, AEW want the competition, right? You got your competition now. And now you are beyond fucking limited. 2027 is going to be more than interesting to see what happens with AEW. I would not be surprised if they get sold. And you know what? You want to know what else? I would not be surprised if TKO buys AEW. I'm about to be out. You know what I mean? I will be coming with another video tonight. So I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace.